Good morning, dear students. Today we'll continue with part 3 of this chapter, that is work and energy. In previous part we have seen kinetic energy and potential energy. Now today we'll see the law of conservation of energy. First we'll see the definition of law of conservation of energy. Then we're going to prove how the energy is conserved in the universe. Okay, so first thing we'll see the law of conservation of energy. If I define the law of conservation of energy, then we can write the definition of law of conservation of energy as the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transferred from one form into the another form. This is the exact definition of law of conservation of energy. The meaning of this definition is the energy can nor be created nor be destroyed, but it changes from one form to another. For example, in electric bulb, when we are switching on the switch, then that electrical energy is converted into the light energy. Due to that light energy, bulb will glow. So the meaning of the law of conservation of energy means energy is converted into one form into the another form. So we can define the law of conservation of energy as the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be changed from one form to another. This is the definition of the law of conservation of energy. That means energy is conserved in the universe. Okay, now we're going to prove how the energy is conserved. Okay, see how we'll prove the law of conservation of energy. I hope you have understood this definition. Now we'll prove how the energy is conserved in the universe. First, for example, I have an object of mass 40 kg, and if it is raised to the height of 90 meter, now if this object is released from this position, then I'll click the 4 back-to-back photograph. So in that photographs I can see the object position like this. First, when we'll release this object, for example the object is here, then the object is here, then the object is here. Now see, this object is not touched the ground, it is about to touch. So for example, from here to here the height is 30 meter. From here to here the height is 30 meter, and from here to here, for example, the height is 30 meter. See, this is the 90 meter height. The object is placed at the height of 90 meter, and when I release this object at this position, the object have covered the displacement of 30 meter, 30 meter and 30 meter. Now we are going to prove how the energy can be conserved in the universe. First we will see the potential energy, kinetic energy and total energy. And as I have explained you, what is what is mechanical energy? Mechanical is the sum of potential energy and kinetic energy. Now at this position, let me give the name of this position. This is the position A, B and C, or I can write this is the position A, this is position B, this is position C and this is position D. So at all the positions we are going to see what is the potential energy, what is kinetic energy and what is the total energy. Now we know that at point A, the formula of potential energy is mgh. So at point A, if I write the mass is 40 kg, acceleration due to gravity is 10, and what is the height? At A, the height is 90, as we know that. So it is 40 into 10, that is 400 into 9. So 9 fours are 36 and 3600 joule. Clear? 9 fours are 36 and 30. Now what is kinetic energy at point A? Kinetic energy is equal to half mv square. So half. What is mass? 40. What is velocity? At the position when the object is rest, where we know that the velocity is 0. Whenever the object is at rest, the velocity is 0. So I can write it as 0 the whole square. So it would be 0 joule. See, whenever anything is multiplied by 0, the answer will be 0. Now I'll calculate the total energy. Total energy is equal to sum of the potential energy plus kinetic energy. Potential energy is given 36,000 plus kinetic energy is 0. So it is total 36,000 joule. Clear? Now we'll calculate for position B. At point B, potential energy, we know that it would be mgh. Mass is 40, acceleration due to gravity is 10. Now what is the height at B? The full height is 90, it is displaced 30. So from here to here, 90 minus 30, the height is 60. So 6 fours are 24, 1, 2, 3, 24,000 joule. Now at point B, the kinetic energy, if we'll calculate, it is half mv square. So half mass of the object is 40. Now from where we'll get the value of V? This is the big question. From where we'll get the value of V square? We know that the third equation of motion is 2as is equal to V square minus U square. In motion chapter we have seen the third equation of motion is 2as is equal to V square minus U square. Now 2 into acceleration due to gravity is 10. Displacement. Now at point B, what is the displacement? From A to B, the displacement is 30, we can see. From point A to B, the object have displaced 30 meters. So I can write the displacement is 30. So V square. Now what is the value of U? At point A, or we can say at point B, the initial velocity will always be 0. Whenever the object is rest, the initial velocity will always be 0. So it is 0 the whole square. 3 2s are 6. So 600. 3 2s are 6. So 120. And I can write it as V square. So value of V square is 600. I'll write kinetic energy is equal to half m is 40. And what is the value of V square? V square we have got 600. So here I can write 600. So it would be 2 1s are 2, 2 2s are 0, 4 and it is 0. So it would be 6 2s are 12. So 1, 2, 3, 12,000 joule. Now the total energy, if I write, total energy is equal to potential energy plus kinetic energy. What is potential energy? 2000. 24,000. And what is kinetic energy? 12,000. Now 24,000 plus 12,000 is 36,000 joule. Now see, here and here we have got the same amount of energy. That means what? The energy have been consumed. Whichever the position will take, the energy total would be 36,000 joule. Because it is the law that the energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it is transferred from one form to another. Here, as we have seen that potential energy is 36,000 because the object at the uppermost height, and whenever the object is at uppermost height, its potential energy would be maximum. But since the object is at rest, its kinetic energy is zero. Kinetic energy means what? Whenever the object is in motion, but at position A, the object is at rest, therefore its kinetic energy is zero. When this object starts traveling towards downward at B, see, the potential energy decreased and kinetic energy is increased. Potential energy decreased from 36,000 to 24,000. Kinetic energy increased from 0 to 12,000. In position C and D respectively, the potential energy will goes on decrease and kinetic energy will goes on increase, but the total energy will remain same. So this is how we can see the total energy is being conserved. It is changes from one form to another. Whenever the object is at rest, it is having highest potential energy, zero kinetic energy. Whenever the object starts motion, the kinetic energy will increase and potential energy will decrease. Energy have changes from one form to another, but the total energy will conserved. So by this way we can prove that the energy will remain same. It is changes from one form to another, but the total amount of energy will be conserved. Now we will see the last topic of this chapter, that is power. What is power? Power is work done per unit time. Work done per unit time is known as power. The formula of power we can write work done per unit time. This is the formula for power. Now, power is equal to, we know that the work done and the unit of work done is joule and the unit of time is second. So we can write this as joule per second. So the unit of power is joule per second, and in common way the joule per second is commonly known as watt. The unit of power is watt, and this is represented by capital W. This is the SI unit of power. There is one more unit of power, that is horsepower. One more unit of power is horsepower. So if I write 1 horsepower, so it would be equal to 746 watt. 1 horsepower is equal to 746 watt. But in this chapter we have to see just only up to watt, not on horsepower. So the unit of power is watt. Now we are going to solve the numericals based on the power, that is work done upon time. Clear? Now, power is not a vector quantity. Power is scalar quantity. Okay? The unit of power is watt and power is scalar quantity. Now we are going to solve 2 or 3 numericals on power and we will see how the formula of power have been derived. If calculate the power of an appliance if work done is 300 joule in 10 seconds. So we know that the formula of power is equal to work done per unit time. So what is work done? The work done is 300 joule. And what is time? 10 seconds. So power is equal to 0 and 0 have been cancelled. So it is 30 watt. The appliance is of power 30 watt. Clear? So see what the question I have written. Calculate the power of an appliance if the work done is 300 joule in 10 seconds. So power is equal to work done upon time. Work done is 300 joule in 10 seconds. So I can write P is equal to 30 watt. Now the commercial unit of power. What is the commercial unit of power? The commercial unit of power is kilowatt hour. The question in your mind, what is commercial unit? See, dear students, commercial unit of power is the unit in which our electricity bill is calculated. We'll solve one numerical of electricity bill, how the electricity bill can be calculated. First, let me explain you what is the commercial unit of power. Next topic is commercial unit of power. Commercial unit of power. Commercial unit of power is kilowatt hour. Commercial unit of power is kilowatt hour. Now we'll see what is the actual value of kilowatt hour. We know that power is equal to work done upon time, or we can write energy consumed upon time. So I will write power is equal to energy consumed upon time. Power is equal to 1 watt. Let me take the value of power is 1 watt, energy is 1 joule, and time is 1 second. So here, from here, the expression can be written as 1 joule is equal to 1 watt into 1 second. The watt is converted into kilowatt by dividing it by 1000. So if I want to convert this watt into kilowatt, I will divide it by 1000. And 1 second is converted. 1 second is converted into hour by dividing it by 3600. Okay. Now, so I'll write it as 1. Now see, watt is converted into kilowatt and second is converted into hour. So it would be kilowatt hour upon 36. How many zero we can calculate? 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So I can write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. So 1 joule is equal to 1 kilowatt hour upon 36 into 10 raised to 5 I can write. Now, so I'll write 1 kilowatt hour is equal to 36 into 10 raised to 5 joule. So 1 kilowatt hour is equal to, I can write it as 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. And 1 kilowatt hour is written as 1 unit, that is 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule. See, in this unit only our electricity bill is calculated in form of kilowatt hour, and 1 kilowatt hour is known as 1 unit, and this 1 unit contains 3.6 into 10 raised to 6 joule of energy. Now we'll see one numerical based on the commercial unit of power, and we're going to check what is or how the electricity bill have been calculated. Clear? See, this is the numerical by which we'll understand how the electricity bill have been calculated. A set of 4 bulbs of power rating 40 watt each are being run for 10 hours each day in the month of September. Total power expended we have to calculate, total energy consumed we have to calculate, and total cost of electricity bill if rate being rupees 3 unit. Okay, now we'll calculate how the electricity bill is calculated. A set of 4 bulbs. Now first we have to calculate the total power expended. So first, total power expended is equal to 40 watt. One bulb power is 40 watt and there are 4 bulbs, so 40 into 4, that is 160 watt. Now this 160 watt should be converted into kilowatt, so I'll divide it by 1000, so it would be 0.160 kilowatt. Clear? Second is total energy consumed. So the total energy consumed is equal to, now the formula for energy is equal to P into T. Energy is equal to power into time. Power is 0.160 into time is 10, and time we have to take into hour. So this is kilowatt and this is hour. So it would be 0.160 into 10. So it would be 1.60 kilowatt hour. This is the energy consumed, 1.60 kilowatt hour. Now we have to calculate the total cost of electricity bill. See, this is 1.6. This is the power consumed or total energy consumed for one day. So if we'll multiply by 30, so this would be for whole month. So I can write it here, 1.6 kilowatt hour for one day, and for whole month it is multiplied by 30. So 30 into 1.6. So 30 into 1.6, it would be 0.1803. It would be 48. It would be 48 unit. Okay, 48 unit. For month of September, it would be 48 unit of energy is consumed. Now for this 48 unit, what would be the actual electricity bill? I'll calculate. Third is total cost of bill. We have consumed 48 unit, and for each unit the price is rupees 3. So 8 3s are 24, 2 carries, and 4 3s are 12 and 4. So this would be 144 rupees bill for the month of September. So this is how the energy or the electricity bill can be calculated. So the next question is, Tina 60 kg and Meena 40 kg climbs a wall of 20 meter height in 20 seconds and 10 seconds respectively. Who is more powerful? See, the question is, Tina's mass is 60 kg and Meena's mass is 40 kg. Both climbs a wall of 20 meter height. Tina climbs this wall in 20 seconds, whereas Meena climbs this wall in 10 seconds. So who is more powerful, we have to see. First, let me make a diagram. Suppose this is the height of wall. This is the wall. Suppose this is Tina and this is Meena. Tina's mass is 60 kg and Meena's mass is 40 kg. So this is the mass. First we'll calculate the force exerted by Tina and Meena to climb the wall. Clear? Now, the force exerted by Tina, that is mass is 60 into acceleration due to gravity is 10. So 600 Newton force would be exerted by Tina to climb the wall. And force exerted by Meena would be mass into acceleration. So mass is 40, acceleration is 10, that is 400 Newton. So the force exerted by Meena on the wall is 400 Newton. Clear? Now, we know that power is equal to work done upon time. This is the power of Tina and the power of Meena. That is work done upon time. We know that work done is what? Force into displacement, and work done is force into displacement upon time. The force exerted by Tina is 600 Newton and the displacement, what is displacement? Displacement means the height of wall. The height of wall is 20 meter. So the displacement by Tina is 20 and time Tina taken 20 second. So I'll calculate 20 and 20 have been cancelled. So 600 watt. This is the power of Tina, and power of Meena is equal to force exerted by Meena is 400, displacement is 20, and Meena have taken 10 seconds only to climb the wall. So 0 and 0 have been cancelled. 4 2s are 8, that is 800 watt. Now who is more powerful? Tina has power 600 watt and Meena have power 800 watt. Therefore Meena is more powerful than Tina. See, we have seen the variety of numericals in these chapters. I hope you have understood each and every concept in detail. If you have any kind of doubt regarding this whole chapter, you can ask me at the time of Google meeting. Now with this numerical, this chapter is finished. Thank you very much. I hope you have understood it well.